a couple things here. We've got, this is where we're most likely going to be spending most of our time, and where I'll be putting all my stuff on here. I've already created a bunch of posts, tutorials, things that are going to help. These are things we're going to be talking about today. Notice all these videos or tutorials on how to use different things, different parts of these tools that I'm going to introduce to you. How many of you use ActivInspire?
I've tried it.
Okay. If you've had any experience with it, today might be a little bit of review for you, just because we wanted to start somewhere that made, I don't know, just start somewhere. We have to start somewhere, right? Get us all together. Day one, ActivInspire. So if you click on that, this is where I'm going to be putting today's stuff. These are links to the things that I just showed you that are applied to today. And then this right here, ActivInspire Training Day 1, that is the flip chart that I'm using right now. Okay. Then this PDF is a PDF of today's flip chart, just in case there's anything on there that you want to be able to have quick access to. Okay. So first question, what kind of board do we have? I think we've already established most of us have panel boards. We have a Promethean board in here. Essentially, if you know how to use them, they can do exactly the same things, which is why we're using Promethean's ActivInspire with a panel board, because you can. How do I set it up? How many of you know how to set up your board?
What do you mean?
Calibration, plugging it in, everything like that. Okay, a little bit. Okay, that's good. What if something goes wrong? What do you do?
I'd call you.
You call me. And that's
No,
okay.
I try a couple things, but if it doesn't work, then
Right. And I wanted to go a little bit over some of the troubleshooting that you can do that you, yeah, get advice from 5 pounds.
Because they all have an opinion about what I should do.
Yeah. Like, have you tried rebooting?
This hacker. Turn it off and turn it back on. How much they have.
We'll be going over these questions. What can I do with my board? And why use the panel board? Okay. So I'm going to move on to the next slide here. Can you recognize which one is which?
Panel board's the bottom, Promethean board's top left.
Smart board is to the right.
Huh. I thought smart board and pen board were like interchangeable terms.
No. Smartboard is brand, Smart.
Oh.
And how many of you use Notebook? Okay, that's a Smart brand. That's basically this version of like, Smart has Notebook replaces this or whatever.
Do we even have smart board?
We used to.
that was the
old
portable
ones.
ones.
Oh, yeah, that we rolled out.
We do have a couple of portable ones. I know JCOT uses one of the portable ones. Mr. Patel has one on his wall. So, and they can basically do the same things. Anyway, so. Okay, if you don't have an interactive whiteboard, Mr. Bingham.
Join the millions of people who are using our award-winning Splashtop software to remotely access their PC or Mac with full audio and video, all from their mobile device as if they're sitting right in front of it. Just bring your tablet or smartphone and have any document, photo, video, or song you want at your fingertips. No waiting for files to upload, no transferring files. In addition, you can also access your remote PC or Mac from another PC or Mac, effectively bridging you from any screen to any screen. On top of that, Splashtop 2, our next generation remote desktop software, is even faster, more secure, and easier to use. Why should you use Splashtop 2? Here are 5 great reasons. Reason number 1, easy to use interface. Splashtop 2 has been redesigned, making it even simpler to use. No more configuring security codes, Google accounts, port numbers, or IP addresses. Just log in and connect. Reason number 2, optimized for new hardware. Splashtop 2 supports the latest technologies from our hardware partners, like Retina display and technology to stream video at up to 30 frames per second. Great graphics, smooth videos. Reason number 3, supercharged network performance. When you purchase Splashtop 2's optional Anywhere Access Pack, you'll be able to securely connect to your remote computer from anywhere in the world. And you'll get the added benefit of self-optimizing technology that adapts to the conditions of your network. Take full advantage of the bandwidth of your 3G or 4G network or internet connection. Reason number 4, enhanced security. Splashtop 2 with Anywhere Access Pack uses the same encryption algorithms and technology as the biggest banks in the world. Rest assured that your data will be transmitted securely whenever and wherever you connect. Reason number 5, support for multiple devices. With Splashtop 2's Anywhere Access Pack, you can use the same user account from multiple Splashtop-enabled devices to connect to your Mac or PC, anytime, anywhere, any device. Download Splashtop 2 today.
Okay, how many of you have Splashtop 2? It was free at one point, and I don't know if you remember Jake's email, but Splashtop 2, you seriously can use it just like you're at the board. The only difference is that you can walk around and you don't have to be touching the board to do it. You don't have to get in the way of the projector. So
it's basically, if you don't have a whiteboard, you project it on just a normal screen, and then you would just do it yourself. So you would be manipulating it for your students really well.
you could allow your students to do it if they knew how, but
Well, if you were walking around, I mean, I've seen Jake like hold it down for students or
yeah,
teachers to use.
it's like
Yeah, but I
Yeah,
mean,
move
they
that
don't go up
icon
to the
right there.
board. Yeah, I see.
so, but you're right. They
Okay.
don't actually go up there to do that.
Kate, I have a knowledge difference between this and airplane. Explain the difference again.
The difference is that you're controlling your Mac with this. It's like having a portable a portable whiteboard
Yeah.
that you're carrying around with you.
I just
AirPlay takes whatever's on your screen and sends it to an AirPlay device, and that Air server makes your Mac an AirPlay device. So Apple's, an Apple TV. Apple TV has AirPlay all built in,
Right.
and all iOS comes with AirPlay, pretty much.
What's iOS?
iPad, iPod, iPhone. That's
Oh.
an iOS device versus an Android device, which is something that's non-Apple. That's a smartphone. Yeah. First you and then
Are you using you have it on right now, right?
Currently, I'm using Splashtop to control that.
Okay, because every time I turn it on in here, the board goes darker. But it looks fine now.
There's probably some setting because when Splashtop connects to your computer, it changes the display settings on your computer.
Oh, okay.
So when it's connected, it would be a good idea to check your display settings. And if you need my help, I can help you.
Display on the computer?
The computer's display settings.
Okay, that must be what it is.
Yeah.
Because and I would just default and quit, and I'd go back and just use my Hippo Connect remote. Which,
Yeah.
what's the difference between just a remote?
Okay, the biggest difference is that it's you don't have to use it as a trackpad.
Okay.
You can touch, you can manipulate, but if you want to use it as a trackpad, you can. So, and by default, it shows you the gestures that you need to use to control. But anyway, so that's a good option. As far as showing you how, we didn't want
Can I
to take.
ask, Splashtop, I don't need to have I can just use it on a whiteboard.
Yeah, so Splashtop makes it so you can run this software without a whiteboard.
Why would we, if we have a smart board, why would we wanna do Splashtop?
You don't have to. But Splashtop can be, I mean, it all depends on the settings, like the setting that you're in, what you're doing. If you want the students to stay in the seats, then you just bring it to them.
And they think it's cool when you're standing away and then you
Yeah.
manipulate the screen, you know.
And one thing that Jake wanted to make sure that I taught you is that these things are not supposed to be just another cool toy for the teachers. It's supposed to be something that the students are using. And I don't, I'm sure that you all
So,
understand that.
It's cost now, is what you're saying. So
What's that?
So we can't get it still?
What do
Yeah,
you
I
mean?
just looked and it's not free.
It's not for
I
anyone.
have it, but I'm not sure what version I've got.
Well, I mean, because a couple times when he sent us emails about different things, I've tried doing it
Well,
when it
it's on
says
your
it's free, and then I can't ever
version.
get it on.
So in order for Splashtop to work, you have to have Splashtop 2 on your iPad, and then also install the streamer on your computer and make sure that it's up to date.
So how much is it?
I have
$6.99.
Splashtop too.
I looked just now.
It was free at one point, didn't we
How much
download
is it?
$6.99.
Yeah, it was free for a while, but I think one of the reasons he gave you those iTunes gift cards was if you didn't get it, but it's certainly a good tool to use. You're not always in the classroom with an interactive whiteboard, and so it'd be nice to have with your Apple ID. But anyway, any other questions about Splashtop 2? I know that.
Are you going to show us how to use it? Because I've got it. I AirPlay everything. Of course, I'm using a lot of apps off of my iPad, and so I'm walking around my classroom that way. But I'm just AirPlaying the apps to show them what I want to do on iPad that week, or
Right.
we do a lot of handwriting here, and then they just show the class.
Right.
Anyway, I'm just wondering how Splashtop.
There's certainly something I can do. I can teach you how to use that. It's not built into my plan for today.
Okay.
Just I wanted to introduce you to the different ways you can use the whiteboards, use this software. Now, today's announcement was kind of a misnomer. It's not Panaboard training, even though we're using a Panaboard. It's ActivInspire training. So that's what this program is. Do you all have ActivInspire? Does anyone not have ActivInspire? Do you have it?
And you want me to look on my
No, this is on your computer.
Yes. Oh, I'm
It's
sorry.
Inspire.
Yeah, I do it right here. No, I'm
that's it.
sorry. Right here. No.
Let's see. There it is. Okay. So,
Do you want us to pull it up?
yes, and I kind of wanted you to follow along with the flip chart and actually use your computers to manipulate. So it's right here. So the download file right there on my website, day one. So you go ActivInspire training and then day one. So that there's ActivInspire training and day one is right here.
You want us to.
Click that.
So click that and then download this and open it up. Okay. And my biggest reason for doing this is, yeah, I can show you how to do it, but I want you to be doing it with me, And I might involve you up here, but you're on your computer more often than you're on mine. And you need to see how yours looks. When you pull up ActivInspire on your computer, it will look a little bit different.
It comes up save file.
Okay?
You just
Save it, and then
Would it be in downloads?
did you already save it?
Yeah.
Okay, then it will be in your downloads folder. And a lot of times, okay, so we're on the third slide.
Join the millions of people who are using our award-winning Splashtop software to remotely access their PC or Mac with full audio and
So
video,
let's go on to
all from their mobile
number
device
4.
as if they're sitting right in front of it.
What'd you get?
Join the millions of people who are using our
Yeah, we're okay now.
What'd you get?
I just
Yeah.
have to make it so it's
Are you,
quiet.
you want us here? Sitting
Is
here?
that this one?
So just go to the next one.
Which one?
So I have this open, but then I thought you wanted this one.
Here's your panels.
Yeah, you
Yours is
probably
over
already
here.
have
So
it.
just
Go to
hit X.
ActivInspire and
See, mine's at the top.
I had it
There it is.
No, this arrow, that moves it
Why
back.
did mine go blank?
But you want to have
Um,
your pointer, not your pen.
This
you
is
got it.
Safari. You're
Like,
seeing
that goes to the next page.
your.
Is it behind here?
Uh-huh.
Can I close this? or
Yes.
should I-
It doesn't let you do it with your arrow keys. Does it not let you advance with your arrow keys? Only the page.
I haven't tried it one way or the other, actually.
It doesn't work on mine.
No.
So just the page arrows.
Yeah. So there's a couple ways of going back and forth, and this is probably the most often
I'm
used.
not that.
But there's also page browsers.
How do I install the streamer on my computer?
You go to splashtop.com and find that streamer on their site.
It shouldn't cost if I've already downloaded Splashtop.
The streamer is free because they use it for all of their things.
What are you using down here on your left margin to pull that?
So I just do that,
Yeah.
and mine will look a little different from yours. I've made it smaller, but okay. So if you do not see the browsers, that's what this left pane is. You need to go up to the menu. I'm going to change so that I can show you the menu. Up here, view, browsers. Okay, I refer to my browsers quite often. So
And what are defined browsers?
this is the page browser, and we'll go over
Oh,
that.
I see, it's the whole program. Or
So
your whole
the left pane.
presentation.
The left pane is browsers. So this that I just
Mine only shows half of it, doesn't show all of it.
that's because I've made my icon smaller. Right here, that's the zoom.
Right here?
Well, that slider.
Ooh.
So
Okay.
It doesn't matter if we have the icons.
it doesn't. No, you can scroll. You can do whatever. Okay. So setting up my board. How many of you just have your board already calibrated and don't worry about it most of the year? Okay.
Except it tends to
Do you know how to calibrate it if it gets off?
go off.
I calibrate it through the Panaboard
You have to.
program.
You have to. On the
Okay.
Panaboard, you have to. On the
Okay.
Promethean, it's a little bit different because
Of course it is.
Of course. So this is a Promethean. For obvious, step 1, plug in the board. Step 2, check to see if the program's turned on. That's often, and the board as well needs to be turned on. But actually, the Promethean is always on unless you've unplugged it. Hold the pen above the lighted flame. You don't have to touch it, you just hold it above it. And then it opens up it looks kind of like this. Can you see that? And just follow the instructions on the screen. And that's how you calibrate the Promethean board. Okay. The Panaboard, same basic steps. Make sure the board is on, plug it into your computer. If nothing comes up, make sure you have the Panaboard software installed. If you do have it installed, find the calibration app in your applications folder and follow the instructions on the screen. That's one way of doing it. If you already have the Panaboard software up, you can easily find the calibration in the tools, the floating tools. You know what I'm talking about. Do you need me to show you?
Like this right there.
Yeah, that right there that she's got up on the left.
Yeah.
What-
And
we
so
use
it's this
software. I know I've done this, but
Okay, so I'm gonna find
See, this is our calibration tool.
Okay, so in the Panasonic folder, they have this Elite Panaboard calibration. You can do it that way, or if you have the software, the tools up and running that are right here. Okay, this is the calibration tool right there.
So you would just tap that and then it will walk you through it, and that's
Yeah.
what I did.
Yeah, and
Just
so
like a whole new finger.
this is the easiest part. The hardest part is finding the calibration. If
Yeah, sometimes I have to go a little above mine to really make it on.
Yeah, that I can guess why that happens, just because the
Mine is not true to the center of the unit, so let's put it that way.
yeah. I don't know if
bet
you've
that's how mine
noticed
is, too.
on the iPad, if you are trying to operate it from above, it's harder to get it on. And I think that's because most of these manufacturers actually calculate the point that we're hitting to be a little bit below the tip of the finger.
Mm-hmm.
And I always do this, but if you're going to be in this room, all the time, always use this calibration information. I'm going to do that because I know where to find the calibration. But if you do that, always do that every time. That's second option.
Can you explain why calibration is necessary and
If-
when you might need to recalibrate?
Let's say, for example, that I calibrated my board and it was off. The way to tell that it's off is you click here and it clicks somewhere else. Okay, and sometimes it might be off by, centimeters, inches.
So then
Sometimes
you want to
be
recalibrate
off.
at that point. So
Mhm.
it's contacting where your fingers touching.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm glad that you don't have to do that on the iPad. It used to be. Has anyone ever had a Palm device? Palm Pilot?
Yeah.
Had to
And you have to do
calibrate.
it on that, that's right.
Yeah. They've come a long ways in the last few years. Okay, I'm gonna. Okay, that's calibration, pretty easy. Common problems. What problems have you had with your?
I mean, you have everything already go, you go up there and it's not work, and you touch it and it doesn't work. So you have to turn it on, you can't pretend, then do it again.
Right, and that can be frustrating, but at least you know the steps that you can take.
I got the steps right. I never count to 10. I just take suggestions from
You see, there's actually a joke that I've heard once. There were three guys. They're all, geeks, so to speak. One of them's a mechanical engineer, and another one was a computer science guy, and another one was a programmer. And
Just describe their husbands.
yeah, so they were all in the same vehicle and driving down the road, and the car started making some weird noises, and so they pulled over. And the mechanical engineer's like, let's get out a hammer and just hit the engine. See if it works. And the programmer's like, no, we should just, get into the computer and see what kind of logs it's kicking out, what kind of codes it's kicking out. And then the computer science says, no, you guys have it all wrong. We just need to turn off the car and wait a little while and then turn it back on. But in computers, that's really how it works. It might not work in an engine, but you get the idea. When all else fails, like your kids say, reboot. Although you probably want to try a few other things before you reboot, right? Make sure that it's plugged in. Make sure that it's on. Make sure that this and that. What kinds of things? Why do you think that it sometimes works and it sometimes doesn't?
Because it's a techie device.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy.
Like sometimes all you do have to do is turn it on and then it's back. It is so bizarre. Like sometimes it just freezes up. I don't know.
Yeah.
What is
Usually
that?
I just rip that whole box out of the wall and shove it back in. And then all of a
I
sudden,
haven't tried that one.
yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
like, and it comes to life.
And
Yeah.
like sometimes I just have to totally unplug mine from the wall. I figured that out
Mm-hmm.
sometimes and just reinsert it.
Mhm.
And Sometimes if my board has to be off before I start a new program, and then I restart it. So it's just funny little things you just have to learn.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in technology that we don't see, and like the programmer, there's all this code that comes up, right? And it's like I don't know. It's like that code's collecting on the sides and building up, and once it gets clogged, then you have to just flush it out. And that's why rebooting works, because that flushes out the thing. So that's probably the best way that I can explain it. But sometimes machines, there's a computer built into there. There might be an error running. If we could plug into that like the computer programmer wants to do, and see what's going on and see if we can fix it, sure, but we can't. So yeah.
How did you get your menu there so large? Mine's like half that size.
Oh, that is a really good question. And the best way to do it, let's see, I think nope, that's the desktop. Okay, back to this. Okay. This is what I did right here.
And that's in edit.
It's edit profiles. It's edit profiles.
Which is,
Okay, now
where did you go to the edit
again for
arrow?
that? You went to file? Or?
Yeah.
I went to
File,
edit.
logo to edit.
Uh-huh.
And then profiles right there.
There it is.
Okay. And we're going to talk more about this later, but like I have it planned as the last day, kind of customizing your own profile however you like it. But one of the frustrations with running a board is if the tools are too small, how do you get to them easily? How do the students get to them? Default, I think, is to have like that many colors, something like that.
Yeah, that's where mine is.
Yeah, and see, you can change that by doing that.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a nice process. You can even tell your toolbox what icons you want to have there. Okay, and profiles. I often switch between profiles. For example, you see what this looks like at the board. Puts it full screen and changes the icons.
Oh, I'm so happy. There's all those colors.
Yeah.
I'll get tired of those other colors.
And you can also tap and hold. That's like right
Brings them all
clicking.
up, gives you a full palette.
And you can also choose do these things like a color wheel.
See, this is, look how easy it is when you're sitting there touching. You say there's not that much difference between a pen and board and a Promethean board. Just the fact that you can use your fingers on the pen and board and you can't on the Promethean board is huge.
However,
For you as the teacher as well as for your students.
we're going to have to look at your computer and see if there's a way to make the Promethean board work with your finger.
That would make a
Because
huge difference for
I
you.
have seen options inside this software that let you choose whether or not to accept the touch.
Because first of all, most of the kids who have done any interactive stuff in the past, they're used to the fingers, and it really throws them, and it's just harder. I mean, how many times have you touched the screen now? I've been watching like 10, 12 times in the last few minutes. You would have to run over and get the pen, or
Right.
or keep it in your pocket, or.
I hate having to find my pen. Where's my pen? And I do that with whiteboard pens and pencil pens. Anyway.
That would make a huge difference.
Yeah. So, as far as common problems and troubleshooting steps, I think you have a fairly good grasp on what you have to do in order to get it working. Obviously, there's problems that come up that you might not expect. And that's where I come in. I can help you if you need me to come and get you out of a pickle. But okay. Here is the meat, so to speak, of what we're doing today. Underneath this shape, I have a set of tools that I'm going to be talking about. A couple things, just as a side note, when you create lessons, you can have shapes cover up things, but you can also get it so that you can uncover it like with a magnifying glass, which is really fun. Which, how many of you know what that's called? What I did with the magnifying glass.
I don't know what it's called, but my kids love it.
Yeah, it's the magic ink. So that's this right down here. If you're using the profile called at the board, it shows up right here. At the board, this is how you switch profiles.
Okay, so let's see.
So where do you go?
Just this top right button. Okay.
Okay,
So quick way of switching between profiles.
so you go at the board.
At the board, gets rid of your menus at the top of the screen, and so there's more presentation on the board. Gets rid of some of the fluff.
Mine went all the way like a big long skinny thing across the top.
Yeah, and you can.
I still don't
Change.
have that one icon.
I don't either.
I don't either. I don't
Which-
have your last two. I have.
Yeah, I have all the others, but I don't have the last two.
Oh, I didn't realize that wasn't part of your toolbox. Okay, well we will have to go over that.
I have the spotlight.
You know, that's way cool. I don't have that one.
Yeah, you
I have that one. I don't have that little.
So how does she have those in?
It's called customizing. You remember where we went to edit profiles and stuff like that? That's where she went. Or that's where whoever it was that changed that. I don't know
So
when,
good.
how that happened, but that's how you get that down there.
What's it called? What's that called again?
This magic ink.
Okay, I think we should all stop and get that on our so we
Yes.
can follow exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I
That
do
would
too.
be the most helpful if we
Here's
were
a-
right with you.
Here's another way to get there. Tools, magic ink.
Okay, where did you
So
go?
where did you go to tools?
This is tools right here.
Tools.
And then
Tools.
is it just add it to your tool bar?
No. That's a part of my fourth lesson.
Tools.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I need
So
to-
now that I have it.
So could
It's
all
just a
of
box,
these
so like
be
here's-
on our toolbar if we wanted it to?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
We
mine's
want
just
all of
separate. It's not, is that what yours is too? It's not I mean, it's not part of the toolbar. It's,
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
see how it is, see, it's just right there. Is that the way it's supposed to be?
I
That's-
didn't. I put it on there myself.
All right, I'll show you. But just keep in mind, we'll be working on our profiles later. So the way to do it, you go to Edit. Can I help you, Josephine?
I was just standing patiently. I have to go on an online training from the state,
Uh-huh.
and I don't have any earbuds to.
Okay. Do I have any earbuds with me? I know that I have some above my desk. On the left-hand side, there's a tote with a bunch of white Apple-type cords.
Okay,
Kind of have to rifle through it a little
okay,
bit.
I'll do that. Thank you.
Okay, so commands is where you go.
Wait.
So edit profiles. So this is we go to edit
Go to profiles, get that back up.
And then go
Profiles.
to commands?
commands. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
And-
this is a problem that happened. Okay, all of a sudden it's gone, and now I'm getting all behind.
Okay.
It's just gone.
You must have accidentally
Is it behind there?
see this right here.
Oh, where'd that come
This you accidentally pushed this button right
Okay, so
here,
go right
which is desktop tools. This is the tools we want to go to. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And so now we're
Thank you.
Do you see
Same. Okay, once you get to commands, then
Mhm.
what?
This right here is your main
Yes,
toolbox.
the ones at the top.
Okay. So in order, this is in order from left to right and down. So you see, you've got main menu, switch profile, desktop annotate, which is right here, desktop tools, separator. And we got previous, next, and then start, stop, flip chart, vote. I will never use that. Express poll, I will never use that, and that's the voting. So you can get rid of things you're not gonna worry about
Are
using.
they just saying separator means next line?
Yeah, see this little line right here? There's a little line between the tools.
So are
that's
you
the
Oh, the
separator.
dotted line,
On
okay.
commands in main toolbox, we can modify it to what we want.
Yes.
Take out, put in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we just need to decide what we want.
Exactly.
And so what if we don't know if we want it or not? Like,
That's why I put that on the fourth day.
so you want us to quit getting ahead and follow.
Whatever. Doesn't matter. So to add magic ink, you just tap on magic ink and hit add, and then it's there.
It's there, we got it.
Sweet.
Now,
Did you do that?
I think so. Okay.
see this right here? See how like
Then how do you use it? Because it doesn't do
look at what I'm doing right here.
So that was behind
I just
it,
did that.
but now you're
What do you use your pen?
revealing it.
Yeah. Now watch this.
Okay, so go to the next one.
I-
Go to your next page.
I just highlighted a bunch of stuff with that. You hit the select tool and go like this. See that?
Oh, fun.
The what tool? Because I just hit my arrow and it's moving my whole.
Select tool. So you have, here's what you do. Let's back up a little bit.
Wait, where did you get the words?
Okay. The words are behind the shape. Okay,
Hey,
Oh,
it's
you already
erasing my shape. I
hit
don't
this
want it to
right
erase
here.
my shape.
Reset. That resets the page to the
Where?
save file. This button right here.
Okay.
And we're going to go over this, but okay, back to the magic ink. The magic ink makes the top layer invisible. Okay? So that right there, if I make it, if I take the select tool, this is a shape that makes what's underneath that top layer visible. Okay? And the cool thing about it is you can change the size of it just like you would any other shape. Okay.
Now, why was it erasing some of the box?
It's not erasing it, it's just making it invisible.
Invisible.
Or it's showing what's underneath it.
And then how do you show it back up?
How do you what?
And then how do you show it again?
Show the shape?
Or whatever?
You can get rid of this by deleting it. And see, if I were the in charge, like if I had this the way I really want it, I would have the delete button on here. So 2 ways to do a right click. This is the same thing as a right click right there. Or tap and hold.
Same thing.
So it's the same thing. And then you
And
can
then
delete
delete.
it. And you're like, where'd my text go? Well, move the shape. It's underneath the shape. And we'll go over more how to set that up as we go. First tool that I have on dock is the pen highlighter. Okay. These 2 things are very useful. Just FYI, these ones by default go on the top layer. We'll talk about more layers, and mentioning layers might go over some people's heads, but we'll talk about layers tomorrow. But anyway, so here is this. Okay, so you're writing with the pen. You take the magic ink. It apparently, because it's above the ink, it makes that invisible.
Why wouldn't you just use your eraser?
You can. I'm just showing you the difference. So like, this is underneath the magic ink, which is underneath that ink. We'll go over more.
So you're later.
Okay. Oh, I see. I see.
So the pen highlighter. Every time you write, every time you touch the board and make a stroke, that's 1 stroke. So it keeps track of each stroke. However, if you write, say, that, how many times did I lift my finger off? 5 times, approximately. So I've got this, that, 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 and that. Okay? It registers that as one shape, even though I lifted my hand 5 times or 4 times. But you can take that and separate each stroke. So, but by default, it moves together.
Okay, I tried to delete it, and it deleted the whole thing, and I had to undo it.
Anytime you do something and you're like, wait, I want it back to the way it was, if it's saved, you just hit this reset page and it goes back to the way that you had it. Which is great, because like students can do something, you're like, oh, they messed it up. Oh yeah, I can just hit that button.
How did you select that and separate it? What did you do?
You just tap it, and that orange button either groups or ungroups.
The sun?
No, the one that's shaded
Oh,
in,
okay.
that one.
And on your computer, like you tapped it, but it didn't.
It's
you
just
get
a
the
click.
Selector tool.
Yeah, select with the selector tool.
Okay, so
That selected the shape, not the writing.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Okay. So that's why.
okay, so how do you do that again?
Because I was on the shape probably.
I probably didn't have to tell. Well, I don't know. Since I mentioned it, you select it by just tapping it, or you can select it by dragging onto it. And because I dragged onto it and that was part of it, the whole writing became part of the same selection. So you have to be careful what you select.
But I'm telling you, how
How do you ungroup it so you can move?
How'd you move the box down under pen highlighter?
Oh.
Oh, you have to actually be right on the ink.
We can't do
Are
it on
you-
your computer though,
Are you using what?
She did it.
No, I did it.
You have to have the right tool.
which is
This right here, the select
the
tool.
select,
Okay,
so,
which is basically like your mouse.
like, hey, if I wanna do, I
No,
would like
to write, you have to write something
But
first.
I-
That's your writer. This
Splashtop
is your like your
and
mouse.
for my computer,
So
Mhm.
like write Jan.
cause I would like to do finger stroke,
Oh,
because that's what
Right.
I'm using.
That makes sense.
No, you gotta have a pen.
Be right with my finger.
Now just go write Jan somewhere.
So you have to have.
Like this, hold it down. Okay, now
Unless
We're
you
gonna
already
go-
have an account.
to this. No,
Do that. Set up your account.
to that. Okay, now see, go over and move it.
So really, we've gone over 2 tools.
Okay.
Already?
Go up there.
Make it go up.
I probably should have introduced the select tool first. Okay, the select tool
Means it's gonna travel, isn't
works in 2
So how did
ways,
you do
3 ways. You
that?
can.
Sun? Okay.
Okay, so the select tool, you can tap to select something, or you can use it to move things around without having to select it. So like if I just do that, it just, whatever I touched, I move.
So it's layered, that's why it's not covering your name,
Right, so that is on the very top.
that
So
your
it's like-
name is on the top layer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we'll be going over layers in depth tomorrow. But anyway, so pen highlighter. So that's what the pen looks like. You can change the size. These are 4 presets. Nice and big. Or you can go like this. See the slider? You can move that, and then it's really big. Change the color. Make it really small. So this tool and this tool, yeah. And if you don't like these presets, the slider makes it real quick to just go somewhere. And it even shows you as you're going wherever if you're.
What's this?
I thought it showed it.
Okay.
Maybe you have to have that. No. Never mind. Anyway, so presets are great because those are the ones that you'd use most often when you're writing. Because the biggest one is only that big. But the slider, if you want it to be really big, helps it. And one of the reasons why you have that preset is if you wanted to erase, you know, that gets a lot more.
Were you, when you did that with your finger just now, were you actually touching the screen or were you just right above the screen?
Touching.
You were touching.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, one of the reasons why the tools is our first topic is because without being familiar with all of the tools and how to use them, it's going to be hard for you to get anywhere. So, what's break time?
I'm just kidding.
So reset the page is one of my favorites. And undo. Okay, so then you're logged in here.
Also now we can So when I'm in the classroom, all I have to do is
This, we might as well keep this up, but this shows you can tap, hold, tap with 2 fingers to toggle track pad mode, drag to window scroll, drag to scroll the screen, so move the screen around, and then you can switch to display.
Make it show up if there is writing.
so it's just telling me
Just so you can gesture.
Yeah.
And then you just,
How do I get to there? I was doing my whatever it is.
How do you get it to read
Smart.
again?
Or that one thing, the option.
so have you done this now?
Reset, what's reset?
It always resets it.
Which one? This one?
It's 2 arrows.
I don't
Okay.
have ActivInspire.
All right.
Is that one my thing was supposed to download?
Let's go to YouTube channel.
I did go to bed at decent time. It's just that I woke up at 4 this morning.
So I always wakes me up.
Jogging.
You and Johnny?
You haven't registered.
Yeah, I've never done this. I've never done Promethean.
Yeah.
Cute.
Okay,
boy.
when you're ready, I'll help you. Okay, as you practice, you get more used to switching between tools. Because it's so easy to be like, to touch and be like, oh, shoot, that was the wrong tool. That's why you have the undo button. But
I still can't make mine move like yours.
that's because you're on the trackpad. You have to like tap and drag like this. So you're on the, you've got this select or the mouse tool, and that's how you do it. On the board, it's a lot easier because all you have to do is.
Touch it. I can do it on board, but I can.
That's another reason why Splashtop
my
is great.
iPad will work like that. Like if I'm touching, when I'm touching here, it's the same as how I'm going to touch my pen.
That's right.
So I would like to find my, I've figured this part here. Oh,
Okay.
I'm sorry, that track moves.
Yeah. What
Where's my pen?
we need to do is we need to say this.
You.
You done anything fun so far? You did? Oh, fun. Disneyland or Disney World?
Well, you
Disneyland.
were, but it changed your display,
Disney World one time.
so it has to set it to that display.
Disneyland better.
Okay.
Disney World is so.
Sorry about the.
just
Thank you
like
for your
around.
patience.
My daughter works
Appreciate
there,
it.
So she knows the ins and outs.
Oh, that's cool.
I go there, it's good.
So, how many of you use shapes on a regular basis?
I would like to.
Okay.
I use them in programs that I've already You know, I go to Promethean Planet and I use a lot of theirs, which use a lot of shapes, and they're great.
Yeah, and shapes are awesome. Let's talk about it.
Okay, let's
Instead
do.
of whatever else we're talking about, because I feel like I'm not having everyone's attention. Okay, so you tap on shapes, and by default, it brings these up. Okay,
Use a color if
you
we
can
want.
change the color.
Okay,
That one with the X means no fill, so it puts the shape on, but you can still see what's underneath it. This one is white fill. Okay,
Is that what this one is right here, the one that you use?
the one I have is the white fill. Yeah.
Oh.
So that's how I did
gotcha.
that. Now you can adjust the border over here.
So you selected red border.
Yeah.
That's why it's got
See that-
black
that-
around.
Yeah, that red.
So you clicked on the triangle? Is that how you started?
Oh, well,
Rectangle, you
this
got
one right
rectangle.
here. You
No, the other one. Right. Is that how you started right there?
right here. This is the so I did the rectangle, and you can change. You know, like for example, there's my red with blue there, or you know, and each. I don't know how obvious is it to you what these shapes mean?
Well, the bottom ones are pretty obvious. The lines.
Yeah, the lines can be a little confusing. How many of you have ever used Paint before? It's the old Windows application for painting.
Way long time ago.
Yeah,
In one
like
of the-
way long time ago.
One of the sessions I went to, they were.
Yeah, Paint. I still use Paint every now and then for one thing or another, especially. I don't know,
So does this work the same?
very similar to it. So, for example, here's that. So essentially that is a line, and as long as you're going in the same general direction, it'll go in that direction. So it's kind of like freehand, but if you were to try to write, it works, but it's a little bit choppier, if that makes sense. So it's semi-freehand. This one right here is just lines.
Wait, how did you just get that to,
See the little arrows that go boom boom, like in
This right
oh, you just reset it?
Reset it.
here. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so from the top, this is a freehand line. This is a vertical line. This is a horizontal line. So even if I'm wherever I started it, that's where it starts, and it's just going to go up and down. This one is that.
Use this for anything. I would just turn my pen on and.
Right. But if you're creating something that you want to
You need straight lines.
really straight lines, for example, math, graphing, something else like that.
Oh, I can kind of see it.
This one right here, it's one of those things where you lift your hand and you can start, have lines connected here and there, and make off some of those lines. And then this one here, if I'm not mistaken, see how that adjusts?
So that's good for angles.
Yeah, except that you notice it's kind of curved.
Yeah. It's not
But yet-
pointy.
But you're right, it does kind of have that feel like, oh, it's changing as I go. Yeah. Shapes, I think, are pretty self-explanatory, right?
So how do you make them get on here?
Because you're layered.
Oh,
So it's going on.
I
but
can't
it's not
even hear it
yours.
up there. How come I can't hear it? So I click on it and it should make a
You have to drag it.
from here.
No.
You can hold down and hold.
And then to do the fill, just click on
Yeah.
it. It just fills it in.
Well, once it's already there, you have to use the fill tool, which we'll talk about. Okay. So the shapes, we've got rectangle. You know the difference between rectangle and square. This one's the square. You cannot make it unsquare. This one you can make a square, but you can also make a rectangle, make a really big, like long one, I don't know, just whatever. And this one is just like the rectangle, but with round corners. We've got the elliptical tool, which is just like the circle, but you can actually skew it so it looks oval or do whatever you want. Triangle puts out triangles, and kind of like that. You know. I'm actually going to do something that will make this a little bit easier on us. I'm going to delete this. Oh, I forgot. There's an easy way to delete. If you pull this down to this wastebasket, it deletes the object. So if you don't want it there, you just drag it down. Okay. What looks way big?
Unless the shape is real big and it won't fit. Which it does.
Actually, let's see.
She just made it smaller and then.
Okay, watch this. Even if it's like this, it will go all the way off the screen.
Oh, okay.
So you can still get it in
Okay.
there. But your finger has to actually touch that.
So are you going to tell us how to do the writing and then cover it with these things?
And
That day
day 2, actually.
So
And-
for our project today, we're not going to do this.
No, Jake felt like it would be a good idea for you to, we're going to explore Promethean planet and then edit a lesson that we find on Promethean planet. Either edit or add to it.
Because I want to learn how to do this.
I know, they're really cool. It's really cool, and when you understand layers, and that's what you have to understand how layers work. So days 2 and 3 are really going to help you understand how to do that and to use the browsers to help you, because to me the browsers, you can get so much farther with the browsers than you can with most of these tools. You can find the same things in the other tools, but the browsers, it's all right there. So
How do I put the toolbar up at the top if I wanted it on the top instead of the side?
there's a couple ways. I think that you have to do it like this. Well, yeah, right here. You can dock left, dock right,
Oh,
so forth.
okay. Yep, okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Can you get that wastebasket on the authoritative
Authoring board.
authoring? Yeah.
It's on mine.
No, it's not on there. So then I went to the edit to see if.
I think that you have to.
Yeah, I couldn't remove the
Where is that?
setting.
Show flip chart trash can?
Yes, this little thing right here.
Oh.
But
Good job, Jane.
so like, we'll talk about this, but there are all your profiles, and the settings change based on them. So in order to change it for a specific profile, you have to be in that profile when you're editing it.
So if we were doing a math lesson, we'd have to be in the math part.
No, you don't have to be, but there's some extra tools that show up with the math. So like a protractor or calculator or something like that.
Okay,
Okay.
great, okay.
Now, one of the things that I want to help you understand with the shapes, once it's on the board, you can still change the position and the size. Using the select tool, you can take any of these, move them around, make them bigger, like that. You can rotate them. And you see what that, did you see what tool I used to rotate them?
Do that again.
The arrow thing?
This little thing that is hovering over, it looks like a curved arrow. That is how you rotate it, freehand. So, sometimes You have to use this little handle to move it, but you don't always have to. What are you trying to do?
It's 10 times easier.
Try this. Zoom in. And then do that. But one of the problems with zooming in,
It depends.
with 3 fingers you can move it around.
So,
Okay. Some more things about shapes. You're not just limited to what you see here.
What is that little thing?
This is my Panaboard stuff. Got rid of it now. So, if you do this little arrow down at the bottom,
Gives you more options.
yeah, there's tons. Tons of things.
Cool.
Okay, where's that arrow?
It's at the very
It's got a
bottom of the
smiley
screen
face.
What's the star?
when you're using the shape tool.
Okay.
And so, in order to get there, so there we go. Okay. Mostly, I mean, you can see that these are there's tons of options for you and kind of tell what they are just by looking at it. Just don't forget that you can change the fill and the border to whatever you want it to be. Okay? Yeah.
I understand how you change the fill. How do you change the border then?
Okay, the border is
over
this right
some
over
of the
here.
red and
So like,
black,
if I did
black
this,
lines.
and then I put a shape out,
Alright.
see how big that border is? So this, it
Yeah, but how did you choose the red and the blue border?
see this is the border,
That's the border.
and then this is the fill.
Field colors.
Oh, I see. Gosh, where did I miss that? I'm sorry, but I don't see that on mine. I don't see, like I see the fill, but
Yeah.
you have 2 separate ones.
See, this one is the fill,
Oh,
and
duh,
this
over
one
here
is
in
the.
Okay,
mhm.
I got it. Sorry.
It's a little different when it's on the top, but
Alright, sorry.
no worries.
I like mine on the top. I just went to edit and go into profiles.
It says.
Well,
it.
there's also
Dot
I
top,
like it
dot bottom,
because
dot
I'm used
left,
to
dot.
there's
I
also an
see.
easier way to get there. At the top of your toolbar,
Uh-huh.
there's this little thing.
Oh, dot,
Which little thing did you say?
Where
It's
did
that
you go?
left
Oh,
one.
very little.
Oh,
Yeah, that one that has the little. So dock left, dock right,
Okay, I'll
dock
go
top.
back to where you are so I can follow you exactly.
Well, and as you told me one time, if you have them on the right, it's a little easier for your students to use.
That
if
is
you
true.
are, if you're showing them how to use them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or you can have it on the bottom, but sometimes it could be kind of a pain to go like this down
Yeah.
here. So, okay, any questions about shapes?
Shapes are cool.
yeah, I've never used them, they've scared me.
Yeah. Now I have the delete tool on here as one of the options of showing you. One of the challenges we have is I'm using a different profile, and I don't have the delete button on here, which is why we have the trash can here, which is, you can just drag it right down. But if you are creating a lesson, the profile that you might want to be in is authoring, because that gives you the most tools. It even has this quick access toolbar, okay, with some customizable, I think it changes based on what you use most, and sometimes not, but
Okay.
anyway,
Okay, can I ask you one question?
yes.
Okay, you see those lines up there?
Mm-hmm.
Say that you wanted to get rid of one of those lines, but you didn't want to reset the whole thing. Everything else was right, but one of those lines was
Just
wrong.
erase it.
You just select that one thing.
Okay, do it, because I tried that.
Okay, so for example, I've got select tool right here.
Uh-huh. So you're gonna just take and draw that one.
What's the like tool, the line, the arrow?
Okay,
Yeah.
The mouse button.
So if a child like was doing something, he did one line that was wrong, say they were connecting, you could just take that one thing and drag it down. Okay.
But how did you grab it when I?
Because
You have to get right on it. So notice I didn't get right on it, and so it selected the text. So there are many ways of selecting a tool. And I'll show you this just so that you have something to look forward to. But you can choose your tool here. Or not your tool, but your shape. So if you know what they are, it makes it easy. So there, see I've got this one, and there it is. And it actually shows up in order. The newer ones are on the top.
Okay, so if you X out of that trash can, but you want your trash can back, how do you get it back?
Okay, like this, so that it's not there anymore. And then we go, not tools, we want to go here. So the edit, profiles,
Okay.
show flip chart,
Why doesn't it
trash
just
can.
stay there?
If you X out of it, it'll disappear.
Okay.
Say that one more time.
Oh, there you go, I see. Everything really can be done if you know where to go.
Yeah.
So
You have
I
to really
still
become
can't get.
familiar with these
I can't
icons.
select anything but the entire shape.
That's because the entire shape is in front of it. So like, try selecting, yeah, there you go. Oh,
Oh,
but
if I want
that's
to
one
only get
entire
rid of
shape.
one
Mhm.
line.
This is one entire shape. And it looks to me like, because you used one of the zigzag one to do this, and it's not even a group, that's one shape. But if they were to use just the line tool, which is the top
Okay.
tool,
Okay, Adam, like
Yeah.
this is what I'm talking about. Like I just drew these. All I want to do is get rid of them. Say they're wrong. Say two of them are wrong.
Mhm.
Okay, so I go to tool, right? So how am I? Okay, I'm telling you. It was not
Oh,
working.
they had to have used that.
There, now it's working. See, Adam,
That's what
you
he's
don't
talking-
believe it.
That's what he's talking about, though. You have to get right on it.
right.
Okay.
It's sensitive.
And one of the things you need to remember with the select tool is that it's sometimes, like this for example, this text extends clear out here. So it's possible to accidentally select the text, whereas, you know,
You only want the shape.
of course if you just tap, tapping doesn't get it unless it's actively part of the shape. And that was Link.
Yeah, that's what it was doing to me before. Every time I clicked on it, it kept going there. I'm like, why is it doing that?
Yeah,
Right.
that's funny. Anyway,
So
I
then
forgot that
I
I'd done that.
Yeah, because I can get it to work when I freehand drew like a letter.
How did you get back there?
My computer has multiple screens. I'll show you. These are all my desktops. This is the one we're working in. There's my Safari, iPhoto, desktop 2.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, mine is still being weird on when it's just like a line. It does. I select on it like that. I still can't take it with trash. I can take these.
Right. It's
These I can't.
in order to do that. See how that's selected? If you click and then drag with the other finger.
Click
So
I
like
have
when
to
you're
do it too. I can't do it.
I know.
when you're on the board, it's a lot easier than when you're using
Depends.
the trackpad.
Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't.
But like
So
I
you
said,
click on it and then drag it?
click and then drag.
Yeah.
Okay.
but let's say for example, we select that. There's this button right over here. Here, this will be easier. So you select something. This button right here.
The
Paying
X,
attention.
X with arrows.
That's a move button. So if you're having troubles moving something because it's too small, you can somehow select it and then grab a hold of that. It's just a handle to move it, and then you just drag it down.
So I drew like a D with
Mhm.
pen,
Right.
and I used 2 strokes.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and so then you said, yeah, I can
You have to-
actually grab part of it. And I grouped or regrouped. Now here's that when that arrow comes up, that goes to that link.
Yeah.
Right, like you said.
Stop it! How did you?
You ungrouped it already,
Yes, I did.
so
Okay.
that worked.
Okay, so how can I?
If you drag over it, it's gonna select both of them.
Oh, okay.
So if I drag over this entire page and I start moving, everything
Do the
moves.
whole thing, yeah.
Everything that's highlighted.
I was trying to select it and have it pop up as separate, but it's just a touch, hold, and drag that's pulling it.
Yeah, and you can select individual parts. Like if you'd, because these are in the same space, and I drag over this object, both of them are selected, which is why tapping only works with that one. But like for example, so Denise drew a D like this. Okay, so there's 2 strokes, and then she highlighted it and then ungrouped it, okay? Which is what I showed you earlier. That
What
you
was
can
the
do with text.
ungrouping one?
It was this button right there. When they're grouped, it's orange. When they're ungrouped, it's not.
What's orange?
This button with the 2 squares and the select around it. Okay. The purpose of grouping is that you only have to select one of the shapes grouped together, and it selects all of the shapes. Moves them as one. Treats it like it's one object.
So now she could trash the whole thing.
Yes, but
If
if
she
she
hadn't
wanted
done
to
that,
just move this, she could do that. But Denise, if you
That's
see if you
ungrouped right
select
now.
like this, because this one comes over to this area, you can't select that just by dragging because it selects both of them.
Right. Okay.
That's why it didn't.
That's why, yeah. But just touching and dragging
Mhm.
works.
Or you can just touch the one object and it just selects that object. And
That's
then
what
you
I
can move
do
it with
too.
this other tool that's not showing up because it's off the screen.
That's what I couldn't get to do is to actually just select the curve. Try selecting the curve. Well, you drug it, but then
Alright.
now
If you come from this side, it looks like it's all selected, but it's not.
Oh.
Okay.
How do we get to grouping and ungrouping? Tapping and tapping.
That's called the marquee. When you highlight something or select something, you have to have more than one thing selected, or you have to have an object that's already grouped,
There we go.
selected. And then all these things. This is called the marquee, if you wanted to know. That you see, you've got the move, rotate, menu, translucency bar. I show you this in a later presentation. Grouped, send forward, send backward, copy, make bigger, make smaller.
How do you ungroup it or group it? Go back and forth. Can you?
You can just select that again.
Oh.
When you ungroup it, it deselects everything. So then
What is that little thing that comes up? It's gray and it has little mini dots around it.
which one is it here?
Oh, it just always comes up at the most random times.
Which one is it
It's this little thing. What is that?
that you're pulling? That's a select. So like you're selecting multiple things with it. So the select tool, you can click, you can drag, and so it's going to highlight anything that comes inside of that. So I could drag that over part of the words, and if these words are all one shape, it will select all of them, but it's not. Does that make sense? So the select only has to get over part of an object to select that object.
Because it shows up all the time when I'm doing stuff. I'm like, what is this?
There's a lot of explanations as to why that might be happening.
It's the way I'm clicking.
If, like for example, if you click and you accidentally move your finger when you're doing it, it's not going to work the same way as if you just go boom. Or if you're using say for example, you're using your trackpad and you're accidentally touching it with another finger or something like that, that can happen I actually saw one. Amberly Danes had some issues where it was doing that all the time, and her trackpad was dirty. I had to clean it.
So what's the trackpad on here?
This is it.
Oh, right here.
Yes.
It's not erasing.
This is what I wanted to airplay it, so it's.
What are you trying to do?
Recognize stars.
Oh,
Is that
well, that only works on pens.
Just drag it down to your trash if you want to.
Well, no. I
Can
wanted
you,
to
or
do
when you
it
do shape, send to the front, send to the back?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a reason why I send it to the back and not showing this?
Send to back means that it sends it to the back of that layer. Yeah.
And can you do anything with grouping with a shape?
Yes. You can group another shape with it.
Oh, okay. So it's
Okay.
kind of like, yeah, like in PowerPoint, I was doing the same thing. So this kind of, in a way, replaces the PowerPoint?
It uses a lot of the same functions that PowerPoint does, but it's tons more interactive.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Do you know if Prezi is more interactive than PowerPoint?
Prezi has more wow factor than PowerPoint. That's why they suggest going to it. But there's no pen tool, there's no shape tool, there's no, these are things that make your interaction with it more. And teachers,
I want to come do something up there.
yeah, go ahead. The point, teachers, is this is not something that, it's not designed to be like, wow, the teacher's doing some really cool things. It's designed to be a teaching tool, something that they can use. Get the students at the board, do things with them. That's, you can do the same things that you do in PowerPoint with this, but we want to incorporate student involvement, hands-on learning, things like that. And with these Panaboards, you can have up to 3 people using it at once. The only problem that I've had with that is, what if they touch it with 2 fingers on accident? Then someone else gets...
What do you mean people can be up there touching? Because on mine they can't, only one at a time.
The Panaboard, well, I take that back. It depends on... it depends on the software.
Cleaned it up.
When I say that they can do it 3 at once, that has to be in the
Yeah,
Panaboard
I've
software.
never been able to get 2 kids. I always can do mine only one.
One at a
You
time.
you have to use this right here to do that. And
I
you-
can
so
have
you-
2 when I use that Panasonic. 2 is the most that seems like it works.
Is there a special setting? Because I haven't seen that.
Okay.
Oh, that's true.
Okay, I don't know how to get to
But one of the problems that I've had when I've had students using this
This Panasonic.
is that they like to rest their finger on their
Yes.
hand on there.
That is
Oh my
true.
God.
So they can't rest their hand.
And
How
that
do you get that Panasonic? I
I don't know
The
if I have
software?
one.
you should have it. It would be go to your launch pad right here. And then
Well, I have mine down here at the bottom,
it's
right here.
here,
Just
but
my
that's
every
the-
Panaboard software. Now, you don't have a Panaboard,
No.
so I wonder if you would have ever had that. I mean,
How did you
it's
bring that in
definitely
across
would
the
have
bottom?
considered that to be used.
Mhm.
How'd you
I'm
bring it
wondering
across
if
the
it
bottom?
would be easier
It's just in my,
So then how do you?
it's just in my,
but
you know, like
Okay,
my
for
stuff I
instance,
have
someone
across the bottom.
No, I
Okay,
don't
so
know.
now
How
I-
do you bring up this stuff across the bottom?
I would like
I
to
just
show my
click
students
down here.
that everything's fine, you can.
Down here?
Mhm.
I know that didn't come up.
So which
Right.
one is it that you click on?
Okay, but now.
Like, where's all your settings that when you pull up, you know, when your computer is
Did it go?
just.
wasn't.
It's all a matter
It was all
of
selected.
being precise, right?
Oh, I just
So
click
if
the
you
bottom.
zoom in with this,
Okay.
it's easier for you to
See, that's what I'm doing.
It's like that.
So
video
it's
we just uploaded.
easier to get more precise when you
Where
are.
it went. Some
where
would
does
really
that
have
Easy
that.
for my students with big board.
Yes.
And it's such a
It would be a
simple.
lot.
I
Unless
just wanna get the idea.
the only
So
there's-
groups,
This is
it
bugging me.
had its
What's wrong?
range. Ungrouped, you know,
This is what I'd actually suggest. Instead of
That's
using
kind of
this,
where your finger like that is at
I would.
It's gone somewhere.
the bottom.
You've gone baba.
That happens to me
Okay.
all the time, like, and somebody will come by and just do
Um,
something simple.
Simple.
Okay, so what I would suggest is
No,
when
but
you use the
honestly,
pen,
when it
is
goes,
use a
when
bigger.
one thing goes, it can throw me for like
Okay.
days.
Oh,
Just
no.
like going harder.
That's
And then-
exactly
With the
what I
light
was.
Yeah, it'll be bigger.
So Adam, we have a question for you.
Yeah.
So see how TL has her information on here? We've been trying to get mine to show up.
That's because you're in the at the board, and so there's a couple ways you can either hit this full screen button,
This one right here?
Yeah.
Oh,
or you can change profiles to off.
Where
awesome.
was it? Oh, off.
What was the thing you hit other than authoring?
Right up here, this little doodad.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is the full screen button,
Oh,
so it
right.
toggles your full
Oh,
screen.
okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, okay.
So,
So see, it was something that's simple.
I know, see, that's just it. Okay, so now I don't have the, do I have the Panasonic thing that you were talking about?
I don't think-
have a pen board,
No, you don't.
so
And
you
so-
wouldn't have gotten that software.
And the Panaboard software is compatible with the Panaboard. But Promethean,
you mean?
no. I mean, they're compatible, but not in the same way. Promethean, you can technically set it up so that you can have 2 pins going at once.
Yeah, and I tried that with 2 of my students, and
We will have to test it out anyway together.
well, and we had tested it out a couple times, a couple days before that, so I thought I was good to go, and then it
Did
just
we test
totally.
it out 2 pins at once?
I don't know if we did 2 pins.
That's the thing.
That's what I love.
There may be a setting that we change.
I just want to be able to do it with fingers. I don't. It drives me nuts
I
with things.
I understand. I
I
would
can
talk
say
to
make
Jen.
it.
See what we can
Okay.
Okay. One thing that I forgot to mention, I have pen and highlighter. Does everyone understand the difference between pen and highlighter? Pretty much.
Yeah, I think so.
We've been using the pen.
Okay. The highlighter is like a pen, but
It
it's
highlights.
translucent. And just like the pen, you can do the same things with it. You can write, you can move it around. You have to have the select tool in order to adjust it. But you can also, I mean, just like you can do this with the pen as well. Make it bigger if you wanted to. Make it smaller. Make it longer. Shorter. So.
Were you gonna go over how to get more than one person on there later?
That's another day. So.
Is that another day? Okay,
Yeah, well,
that's fine.
I'll have
We can
to.
wait.
I'll have to play around with it a little bit because I'm not positive that it will work with this software.
Okay.
But the software might have that option, so I'll look around and see what I can find. Okay.
What happened to your box?
What box?
The rectangular box that was covering this?
Oh, I got rid of it.
You trashed it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I can always go like this because I haven't saved it since then. And then it's back.
That's undo.
This is reset page.
Reset.
This, is this a, just like curiosity, is this a plugin? What are you doing?
ActivInspire
Or is it something?
is its own thing.
Okay, so you just authored this program and then this.
So this is called a flip chart.
Okay.
And that's what a file is. It's like a PowerPoint, but it's for ActivInspire. It's called a flip chart.
So Flipchart is a PowerPoint in ActivInspire.
Yes, and ActivInspire has more tools available,
Then
more readily than PowerPoint.
then
When
PowerPoint.
we authored like a lesson, we do it as a flip chart.
And then show us how to save
You're
it.
saying
Yeah,
you can
it's-
do it.
You're basically like saving a PowerPoint program with all the interactive stuff for a specific file or something. Say like if you did a thing on volcanoes, it's like an interactive PowerPoint.
Yep.
That you can save.
Okay.
Exactly. That's what it says. So, and yes, I did create this presentation, and it's, to be honest, it's really simple based on, I mean, you can create some really complex and awesome
But we don't
things
want
with this.
complex right now.
Well,
We're
But
not
you're-
on that level.
By complex, I mean like creative and lots
I see.
of
Innovative.
controls. Innovate, yeah. And see, I just put some text on here and then put a shape over it. And that's how I did it. And you can like say, for example, a good way to use this presentation is say, who wants to move this shape for us? Okay, move it down one line. Oh, too far? You know, that sort of thing. However you want to use it. And if you don't like your toolbar to go away like it's been going, that pin button will hold it in place. Yeah. So.
But if it's highlighted, that means it already is in place.
Mm-hmm. Now, as I wanted to show you, on this page here we have a diagram that I've made that shows you what each of these tools are. This is the main toolbox that you see when you're using the authoring mode.
So we can go to this if we forget.
Mm-hmm.
Author is when you are making a presentation.
That's right. And you can use.
Just print it out and tape it next to the board.
That's an idea. Although, I mean, it's there for you on my website if you ever wanted to review it.
So if we got really good at this and clever at this, we could do a whole bunch of flip charts and have them all ready for the next year.
Right.
That's exactly.
And
Well,
all of
that's
these.
what, when you go to Promethean Planet, all you're doing is downloading flip charts, and you just store them, and pull them up all the time.
So you're using ones that have already been made?
Yeah.
I
And
see.
Is
they,
there any issues in having components and templates?
it's all ActivInspire.
This is just
So-
like a keyboard and mouse.
That's what I love.
You know, it's just a control device.
Sometimes I pick and choose, but like they literally have something for everything you can imagine.
Mhm.
Everything. From Native Americans to reading comprehension to predicting,
They
anything,
have
science, math,
music.
anything. They're already there.
Yeah.
There's
And-
so many I'll never use them.
And if you create something, you can also share it.
So other
So
people
is
have
this
made
like
it not the
uploading to the
same.
wiki space, like same idea?
Mm-hmm.
Like where you create something and you upload it to the wiki?
It's kind of like that. It's more like, here's a lesson on such and such, and here's some details about it. Here you go. And then you just find it on Promethean Planet, download it, and use it.
Are we gonna spend some time on the other one, on the other, what do you call them? Like the math one or the,
We can go over that on Friday. I'll show you all the tools that come equipped, and then you can, from the tools that I've shown you throughout the week, you can
create a lesson. or
customize
something?
those as well, stuff like that. So, essentially, what the profiles are doing is it's just showing you. The profiles allow you to have a different set of tools for a different type of flip chart. So if you're going to do primarily math in one flip chart, you might want to be in math. If you're going to do primarily writing, you want to be in, you know, exactly. And, you know, I probably have that.
How many are there? How many different ones are there?
There's about 5 of them, but I think you can make new ones. So you have languages, mathematics, and media. And so those are just some
So
options.
would you use authoring or languages for writing? I guess authoring.
Authoring is for creating the flip chart.
So
Authoring gives you as
languages-
many tools, like for example, right here, you have your basic pen and paint tools. We haven't talked about the connector, but that's pretty cool too. If you remind me later on, I can show you how that works. This, you can import a photo or a video into your
Oh, I was
presentation.
gonna say, because I don't have that one.
That's on the authoring,
That's on the authoring. So if I go to authoring,
and then your text tool. Okay, so that's basically the authoring is designed for that. If I switch to mathematics, it's going to put on your ruler, protractor. I can't remember what this is called. square, I guess.
You want us to go to authoring? Or where are you at mathematics?
I'm showing you mathematics right
Okay.
here. You've got a calculator and a couple other tools. This is dice for like, what is it, probability or something.
Yeah, okay, cool. Oh, there's a compass and the protractor. Oh, how many times have I needed that?
So like with a compass, see, how do you use it? I can't remember.
You drag.
So that can create your circle with it. You change your angle.
Hey, how did you?
Shoot. Oh, it's the tip that you have to.
The tip, okay.
Okay. So anyway, back to this. Okay. We're going to go forward, and I'm going to close the protractor. Promethean Planet. This is where you can download the ActivInspire software if you want to. And to get there, I'm going to go to authoring. Actually, no, that's not going to get me there. If you go to web browser, so everyone, let me show you how to do this. One of the best ways to get to Promethean Planet is to just hit your tools here in the middle of your bar. Go to More Tools, Web Browser, and it will actually take you to Promethean World. We want to be in Promethean Planet. We'll just change that to Promethean Planet. PrometheanPlanet.com.
Okay, wait. I'm behind.
Just go to Safari.
How do I get rid of
Just this one you have to kind of close it. This. But let's go to Safari.
Do I have to be in Safari?
Safari is Firefox, whatever you use. That's fine. If you prefer Chrome or Firefox, just go to your web browser.
Okay, go to Safari and then what?
Or unless you want to use Chrome or Firefox, whichever one you prefer. And then go to You are in Safari. This is Safari. And so just go to PrometheanPlanet.com.
So you can't get there from Promethean.
There may be a link for it. I just didn't want to look around for it. So I thought that it went to Promethean Planet. I was wrong. Okay. So here you have. Notice I'm signed in. You all have an account, right, with Promethean Planet?
I think so.
If you don't remember it, you might want to.
You have to have an account.
Yeah, that's free.
It's a free.
What if we can't remember our password?
There's an.
Can't you just make a new one?
You probably could.
I would do that.
Yeah, just do register. And hopefully it'll allow you to do that. Okay, so once you're here, you probably the best place to go is resources. And if you hover over resources, you can see the subjects and stuff like that. So, yeah. You just created this.
Yeah, that's my,
Okay, so
okay, and then submit,
Mhm.
take me to current page.
Yeah. Once you're there, you might as well start looking around in Promethean Planet to see what they have there. They have lots of things available for you.
Can you narrow it by grade and subject?
What's
You
that?
can either do it by subject or by grade.
You can't do both, you can't take,
Yeah, but on each one, as you preview it, it will tell you the grade it's for. If you hit it on the previews, because you don't have to download it, you can just preview them, but it will tell you what grade they're geared for and stuff.
but you can't just say, I only
I
want you to
don't
pull
know,
out.
maybe they could, like, they
If you
give
go
you
to
just
grade.
kind of, it's a mix of stuff.
Okay.
Like if you do it by grade, it's kind of a mix.
Yeah.
Whereas I always like to go for subject.
That's fine. What they do is have me sign on to it to my book mail. If you want to save password.
Save password.
What's the difference between categories and resources?
Save, it's whatever you know, the book thing.
And I found sometimes I'll go back and use it.
Don't be as nice for the size. Just look at the file, it's a nice one. I go and do all the words and stuff like that there. You know.
Who knows the address on this?
Yeah, Zabie, city and state. Plug and probe, right?
Does this mean I already have a account if I have Splashtop? Or do I need to?
It's not your Splashtop soft. It's not your Splashtop account. It's your Promethean Planet.
So I need to create a Promethean account.
But if she didn't have it, what she would do is, should she
I hit search and it's not doing anything. Most schools are making academy.
Take all the spaces out.
What do you use for your user?
Oh, you gotta take the spaces out?
That's what it says. Without any spaces or commas.
And no
Oh.
commas?
You can put a grade in when you're in subject,
Right.
off to the left.
Yeah, mine said no school.
Me too. Wonder if it's a lowercase.
So I just skipped it, I just skipped the school thing. When I didn't mind,
It didn't show up.
yeah,
Yeah, it's fine.
and it was okay, I didn't ask for anything else.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, once you go into the subject, look at the left and you can narrow it down to the grade level you want.
Wasn't Fred gonna be here?
I already get emails from them.
That's done next year, year after, for select sixth grade after.
I got my math game next year. Math is probably my least invested subject.
She's got a board there and white.
Because I know I can know.
You always feel like somehow if you're not getting
Talk
the
to her.
lesson as it's out.
Okay. I might call you. Okay, now I came up with active. Now see, let me show you this. I've already done my active inspire down here already. So let me do this.
So did you just leave it blank?
Is that the same thing? Oh, that's the air serve. Okay.
See, look up here. Comparing this
Love
is
it.
whole thing.
So I click that.
Love it.
Either that or
How's it going in here?
we're having a grand time.
Having fun playing around?
We actually are.
That's a good
We are
thing.
so smart.
That's just a link.
Well, just think how smart we'll be by Friday.
Go ahead and make your
That video,
presentation.
did he show you
Oh.
that?
It is.
Yeah.
Okay. And Adam's gonna talk to you about this too, but
Mhm.
two points. One is if the Promethean board was supposed to be a little more.
So I don't need to do this one, I just,
Why not give that to
Yeah.
someone?
This is if you want to be
who
compatible.
appreciates that? And if the other one's a
This
junior
one back,
high,
this
maybe
here,
give
right
it to
here.
a junior high.
And, you know,
Board. And the second is like, which kind of ties in with that, is
because if I was just gonna.
as he's talking about it, it's 10 times easier to use your printer than for me to sit there and try and use the pens
Okay.
or have students use the
That might not be.
pens. So if I'm gonna be really more
Well, I think
proficient at this
With you,
and interactive,
I'm not sure.
me, myself, and I, and my students.
And if you use Firefox, it tells you if it's out.
So
Okay.
if
Adam, do you
he's
know
gonna
what
talk to you
version
about that
of
too,
software
so
we
you
have?
guys could think about that, consider that.
Of, I guess, Promethean.
ActivInspire.
Good idea.
Well, this said, these organizers will become the version 3 software library.
This
So I
username
don't
is
know.
already being used.
Okay, now what?
We all
That's
have
what
the
I
same
said.
problem.
Are we all registered in Inspire?
Probably.
I know I am registered, but I
So
can't
how do you
remember
find
my
your?
password.
Well,
log in?
What
We
lets
have
you-
the
So I'm
ActivInspire.
gonna
Yeah,
sign in.
Well, there's gotta be a
So
place where
we're
it
not
says
exactly
can't,
sure what-
can't remember your
what they're
password,
talking
you
I
can
know.
send it
I
to
know.
But if you, there may be
Okay,
a way to
so-
preview
you.
it,
Go sign in, just like your.
This is what I got when I clicked on preview.
but the resource pack, I mean, we can come with resources in ActivInspire, but that is something.
Do I want to make an alias on desktop or show files?
See, if
right there?
mine did
I
automatically
never
sign
put
me
it
in,
Is
I
that
would
what
not
you
just.
do?
So it's just
I
this
must have
then?
did it when I was
You know what I
playing.
mean?
Like two and
That's
valid.
done.
Forgot your ID or password, yes.
Now I can do this one.
Yeah.
But now, like you said, I might have to have
Okay, so just
Adobe
fill out
update.
that.
Sign in. Is this a free thing?
Yeah.
So like if you were just a regular
Okay.
mom and you wanted some resources for your kids, you could just.
If you had an interactive
If you have an interactive whiteboard.
whiteboard.
Because when you first set it up, you would have needed the code
Right.
for the software that responds to
No, those are.
I'm just thinking, oh, free lesson.
Not quite,
so
okay.
much.
Because you have to have that whiteboard. If you're on
Yeah, I mean,
whiteboard,
and
put
it wouldn't be fun if you didn't have an interactive whiteboard.
So I'm so confused. Is Padboard a product of Promethean?
That's not something I should change, I should. probably
Padboard
make
is a
that.
kind of software.
It's just
And
easy to.
Promethean is a what?
Yeah.
Promethean?
Mhm.
Okay, so then,
But we like the Promethean software better than the
so
Padboard
you pay for
software.
the software and it's
Well, because
compatible
we
with
bought,
your
because we
Padboard.
bought, because we have smart boards, Pano boards, and Promethean boards, we have school rights to all 3 of their softwares,
Okay.
and we just
Okay,
we
it's
find
down.
Promethean to be the most
Do I?
friendly.
Yes, I'll do it in some
Padboard
Splash later.
is better actual physical
Where are
than
you
that.
trying to get?
Sweet
Because of your
It's touch or anything.
Well, that's fine.
But obviously the software is compatible with Padboard.
Well, you have to realize that this is all the Padboard is.
It's active.
It's just a way.
So it's not the way
It's just a way to input something. That's what it's just a mobile device. And so all it does is it sends signal and controls your computer. And so this is what this is compatible with is your
Do I have
computer.
nothing on my
And
computer?
or anything on your computer.
Okay.
Well,
What's the
I'd like a bare
icon
minimum.
for Promethean?
I know. But this will be nice.
Remember what it looks like?
Understand how it works.
So this little
What are we looking at?
means an icon for Promethean Planet. It's a website. It's not a.
Oh, so we don't
Yeah,
have.
go here, PrometheanPlanet.com.
Okay, and it's gonna come out here.
And you just look.
Yeah, and if you don't want to download it,
You see the announcements that I will make at their keynote?
but you know, if I
Pretty crazy.
download it,
Yeah.
you go through
Yeah.
what.
Kind of exciting.
Yeah.
More changes.
Of course, it won't affect our 4th gen iPods, but
Oh wow.
Okay,
yeah, no worries.
so
We for sure getting, data
this
or.
right here, I love this one, but that's probably too above.
That's just a question. When I go to Promethean Planet and I select early childhood.
Oh, the conference is in San Antonio.
Okay.
Love San Antonio.
That's a really good question. So she was wondering if these are aligned to the core.
I mean, I know what, well, obviously it's that's my plan, which is what I teach.
I think
So,
that
like, I'm
the key is to download it, look at it, and these are just lessons that teachers have shared. And so you don't know for sure whether they align with our board or not. But you notice a lot of these are just activities. Like Jeopardy is something that you, it's a template you can put in your own questions and answers.
Okay, I may just use this one page.
That's the idea.
Okay, now you have
Yes.
to mix this all up because obviously
And I
it's
didn't
when
know
I
about it
saved
until I
it saved it to complete it because at the end it's last when you want to save it. I usually don't know, but maybe I did. See,
I don't know if this is under warranty,
before
but it is,
my
we can-
class, I would have it all mixed up, you know, and they would have to.
It started happening like the last
So I
week
may
of
just
school.
use like
Yeah.
one
Like it was like,
Yeah, they are.
and I was like,
And then it starts to go, and then it gets a little
Because
worse.
like Native
Little
Americans,
worse.
they may have a big thing
Hey,
on
did
Native
you say
Americans,
something?
but I
I
may
think
be
it's done.
focusing on
It's
certain
there.
tribes,
Whatever
so I
you
may
did to download it.
just use.
So I can say signed in.
Yeah,
Okay. So I don't
or
know.
whatever.
Oh.
Or if I'm
Yeah,
doing
so-
lateral, I may only use
So
one
how
section.
did, so how did you get
Okay,
it?
now go to resources,
So right
go to
there.
resources, right up here.
Yes. Under resources.
Okay, now you can either choose to go third through fifth, but that's
Yeah.
gonna give you all random.
Okay, so I should be there
You
ready to go.
can do that. I usually go back to resources.
So-
I usually am looking for something specific, so I go to whatever subject that I'm looking for a specific thing on.
But
You
then-
can do it either way.
but then once you're
Then
in
you,
that,
once you go that, go to the keywords right there. Okay, like what you do China, right? Okay, go to China.
Live in math.
You know, oh, well then if you're gonna do math, choose something whatever.
Okay.
Okay, geometry, okay, then hit search. Okay, then it's gonna bring up lots of different ones. Now say you don't wanna download every one, so you're gonna try this preview, okay? Oh yeah, that's it, alright, I see, I know that, okay. It tells you your grades right there, 3 to 5, so this could be something, and you kinda can flip through here. Oh, I like that, I'm gonna download it. If you don't, if you think, I don't like that one, I don't like the look of that one. And it doesn't matter how much, you can, if you download them, don't like them, I just throw them in the trash, you know what I mean? 'Cause it doesn't hurt to download.
So I could make it even
Yeah,
more.
and she said narrow rate, so that's good, so
Oh.
I've never
It's just
realized that.
colors. All it is is colors and letters.
So, well, it's still narrow too.
Okay, so it's gonna
Yeah.
give you those,
Okay.
you know, so
That is
look
really
at
cool.
all these
That's
things
another
that
one
you
that was
can
like,
use just for
students
math.
do this and this,
Okay.
and they check their answers by doing the fill tool and like changing the color to anything else because like they have hidden words that are the same color as the background.
Yeah.
What are the answers? Basically.
Fifth grade math review, Shepherd
The answers.
fun.
That's pretty
They're
clever.
so, I mean, they're so,
So there, I wanted to show you something here.
you know what I mean?
These are just some examples, and we want you to be out there on Promethean Planet today, familiarizing yourselves with it, finding lessons. We want you to pick one lesson that you can share with us. But you see here I have Connect 4. This is actually a link to a file. And so here's my Connect 4. This is a game that it uses interactive software. So if I tap that, then it's ready to go. And you just roll the dice, and then you find a letter or number that's 4. So you can go to any of these 4s if it's your turn, and put it right there. And so you're playing Connect 4 with.
Cool.
And I've done that, and you can do them in teams,
Mhm.
and so that you can really do that like a class because they can work together in teams.
That's right.
How did you roll the dice game? You just took it.
Isn't that awesome?
So-
Do it again.
Did you create
Tap,
this?
tap.
or was
No,
that
I
from
downloaded it off of Promethean Planet, which is great because
It's already done.
yeah, Harry Wong's Beg, Borrow, Steal.
Yeah,
It's that resource is there for you. So
we love Harry.
yeah.
This is not something I could put in iPod.
Put on an iPod? No, it's not an iPod game.
I'm just saying my kids would have to be off the board. I could have 2 off the board.
Right.
On this
Or you could
Connect
have
Four, do
the
they
whole
have
class.
to
So you
be,
could do it as a 2 teams.
do they have to be diagonal, or could they be like up and down, like a,
I think it's Connect 4 diagonal or up and down or left or right.
okay.
Well,
So-
you really can do it, like, just tell them, horizontal, vertically, diagonal.
Whatever.
I'm curious what happens when you do
Yeah, you
this.
could do it. Yeah, you could do it either way.
Was it mathematics lesson, Connect Four?
Mm-hmm.
Notice it kind of pops it in. So these are, you can do all of the stuff that is already built into these lessons if you know how to do it. But like I said, it's all there for you to.
Why would you want to?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's there. Don't recreate the wheel.
Seriously? Holy
Exactly.
cow. That's a fun one. So what's that one called? Connect Four?
Connect 4 with dice.
Call it, yeah, just Connect Four.
Just-
It says
or
mathematics.
It says with numbers, so it's a math.
Yeah.
I think it's under
I'm
mathematics.
in math. I'm already in math.
3 to 5.
And
AM 3.
what's cool about this is you create your lesson, and we'll talk about inserting files. I don't know. I don't remember when I put it on my plan. But you can insert a file. I think it's tomorrow's plan. It's up in my little video presentation. But you can create these. These are links that open up a file that you already have on your computer. So it makes it so you don't have to look for it. Once you have it downloaded and you're like, oh, let's play this activity, and boom, you're there.
Whoa, say that again.
So I'm right here. These are links to files.
Okay.
If I tap Connect 4,
Okay.
it takes me to that one.
Okay.
I come back into my other lesson and I'm back
Cool.
in math labels. So then you can say, okay, someone find drag Antarctica over. And so they take this, and it looks like the A is kind of.
It's just the Antarctic.
I think you can edit that though by doing that.
Okay. So
Very
is this another?
This is another one I found.
How'd you do that again?
I just dragged this. I had that selected. I dragged. See. Antarctic. So.
And then I'm still lost while you were going back and forth.
Okay,
Where your
back
tabs are
up here. These are tabs, and so you can go here, and then if you have a link on the page, you can go directly from that to that. And if you wanted to, you could take this.
Oh, sorry, you're in ActivInspire.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm staying in ActivInspire. I'm not hitting
Okay.
the open tool. I've already put in my links. You could also put a link in here to go back to the lesson that you were using if you wanted. But you've got this here already, so, as long as you're not like really short, you're good. Okay?
We have like a half an hour to play on for me.
Actually, today's assignment is to build find a lesson on PrometheanPlanet.com that fits your curriculum. And you can find more than one, but I want you to choose one that you want to come back and share with us. And I want you to either edit at least 2 slides or add at least 2 slides.
So once you've downloaded it, you can edit that.
Mhm.
It's yours.
Yep.
So it might be harder to do on a game, wouldn't it? To edit it?
Yeah.
Unless
Yeah.
you're editing questions, unless you're adding your own questions to it and you're creating a game to review, that would be considered editing a slide if you're adding new questions. Because a game would be a little bit harder to edit or add something to. Unless it's something like Connect 4, you're not going to want to change. You're just going to leave that the way it is.
Right.
But if you're going to find, like you're finding a Jeopardy game, you want to create a review for one of your first units in the year, you could play Jeopardy on that account. Definitely, because you're going in and you're changing the questions and editing, changing the text that way. So really, our hope this week is that as you go through this week, that you're going, and a lot of these days, you're going to have a couple of hours to create lessons. We want you to come away with at least 4 lessons. Well, hopefully, you have enough time to find 10 to 15 lessons that you'll be able to use next year, implement straight into your curriculum, and just have set apart when you start the year to be able to have that ready to go. You should have a lot of time. We'll give you ideas how to do a couple of things in the mornings. Then you have the afternoon until about 2. We'll get back together and then share what we've done throughout the day. It's something where we want to give you time. But we don't want to be the ones that are talking and just piling everything on top. We want to give you 2 or 3 specific things that you know how to do, and incorporate that into a lesson and have that ready to go next year. is really what we hope to do over the next 4 days. So we thought we could sit here and teach you all the tricks, but it wouldn't be very helpful because you wouldn't remember all the tricks because there's just too many things to be able to learn. So we kind of went through and found what we thought was most essential and most helpful for you to be able to learn.
Cool.